Noel, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon in conversation. Why is explicit instruction so important in our schools?
Reading is not a natural process. We're not born with the ability to read. It is not part of our biology. It is a technology that humans only invented in the past few thousand years. So, unlike language, reading needs to be explicitly taught to children. Language is something that children will learn naturally, growing up in their families and in their communities. However, reading must be explicitly taught to children. It's so crucial to understand the difference between language acquisition and reading acquisition. Children need to be explicitly taught the connection between the sounds of the language they are learning and the symbols, the letters that represent those sounds. And they need to be taught those constituent phonemes, and they need to be taught phonics and build their decoding skills in order to be able to master reading. The crucial insight I took from Professor Kevin Weldahl's research is that perhaps 25% of any group of children will learn to read no matter what. These children will pick up the ability to read in the absence of explicit instruction. However, a middle group will learn to read if they've been taught effectively, whatever program or whatever approach, but there's a bottom 25% who will never learn to read unless they are explicitly taught. So Professor Weldahl's point here tells us that if we want all of the children in any cohort to succeed with reading, we must teach them explicitly. If we don't do that, if we just rely on children picking up the technology of reading by exposing them to books and reading to them, the result will be is that we abandon at least a quarter of the classroom, a quarter of the cohort to illiteracy. Those kids will never read unless we teach them explicitly. This is why explicit instruction in reading is so important.